All right, hey folks, we're going to do some artwork this morning. So give me a second here to check my signal. We'll get things fired up and go for an hour or so. If you're already familiar with the channel, this is where I do my intro stuff. So if you want to skip ahead a minute, don't blame me at all. I'll catch you after the bump. But for there we go. But for those of us that are new to the channel, what is up? My name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. And we are creating content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. That's going to publish on the DMsGuild. Let's see. I'm just doing some channel pushing here real fast. Gilip, gilip, gilip. There we go. Okay, cool. So post a link, post a link, post a link. I'm a big Eberron enthusiast in the Dungeons & Dragons game setting. I've been role-playing. I've been running games since 1987. I've been a freelance illustrator since '99. I've been an Eberron enthusiast, I think, since 2004, and I've been creating content on DMsGuild since 2018, but I've never published an adventure. I've participated in a slew of them, but this is the first one I've written and published myself. So I'm really excited about that, and I love the Eberron campaign setting. So this is great. So if you find today useful, or if you think it's fun, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for new subscribers. Thanks a lot, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when you're live in the future. Here's a full list of all 416 episodes, and here's a slew of books that I've already created that are on the DMsGuild. They're all free preview, so check them out. If you think they're cool, consider making a purchase. If you want to support similar behavior in the future, you can join my Discord community here. Here is my Patreon if you want to chip a buck at me. Bless you for doing so. And this is a book cover that we created around episode 40. Clear that out of the way. Here's the Undead army that we're making. And again, if you're new to the channel, this is a 16 by 9 format that we're using. It's a digital format. If you full screen your monitor if you full screen your view right now, this should, on a device, should fit pretty snugly. Phone, tablet, monitor, 16 by 9 format is pretty much where we're at these days. So not only is this horizontally, are you able to see all three panels in the same go, it's a 12-point font, so chances are you can read this just fine. And if I don't have the capability right now, but if I were to turn it vertically, I could then align this so that each of these is 10 inches by 5.5. Each of these columns is also a 16 by 9 ratio. So you can look at a full page from this perspective, or you can look at each individual panel by this perspective. It's like a 105-page adventure. So there's a ton of cool content in here. It's built for Karnath. It's in the Carnwood of Karnath on the continent of Korverk. And you're fighting necromancers, undead, and eventually demons from the plane of Mabar, hence the title Crystals of Mabar. The scheme here I'll get to work, and I'll talk to you about the stuff that goes on in this adventure, see if it tickles you at all. First off, let me clear stuff out of the way here. Bloop, 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 bloop. That's where we're at right now, building these dudes out. And we'll clear out that back row. So yeah, we're basically down to heads and shoulders. So with God's grace, we'll be able to get some more stuff done today and get into the Yugoloth, clean him up, or it up, and then we'll move on to the next piece. As you can see, the 16 by 9 format, this is like a 5 by 4 inch illustration. We've been absolutely killing ourselves over it, but that's kind of how we do. Once I start getting into a piece, I really like getting into it. So, but once we finish this piece, we have these 12 artifacts. There's a total of 13 artifacts in Eberron. The Eye of Mabar is an artifact that's connected to the plane of Mabar that the team will encounter during this adventure. Each plane has a thing, an artifact that was created in its in its native plane, and then somehow makes its way to Eberron one way or the other. But if you know the proper ritual, you can create a manifest zone to that plane that's powered by the ritual and the artifact. And in the case of Mabar, it requires human sacrifice to sustain. So when the Emerald Claw was in vogue and helping with the war efforts by providing undead troops to replace those that were fallen, they were quite the celebrities. But now that the war is over, we're all recognizing that, you know, maybe just a bunch of necromancers running around creating armies is a really bad idea. So let's shut that shit down. But all these people were basically military officers, and some of them got really into military intelligence. So in this case, one of the cultists that's involved in this adventure, his name is Solzu, was high-rank military intelligence and knew about a lot of the things that were hidden away in Aether Academy, including the Eye of Mabar, including the ritual that is required to create a manifest zone using the Eye of Mabar. It's basically like a volleyball in the shape of an eyeball. Here, I'll show you our cover again here, just for reference sake, real quick. There it is. There's the Eye of Mabar. It is basically an iron ball, more like adamantine. It's like a black metal ball, and it has the emblem of Mabar basically carved into it. And when you're performing the ritual, it starts bleeding necrotic material out of it that will eventually dissolve the ritual caster and turn them into an Ultraloth. Solzu doesn't know this. The ritual doesn't have all the specific details. We just know from history that the last time they tried this hundreds of years ago, that it went badly for everything involved, so they shut it up in the vault. Solzu doesn't know the fallout. He just knows the potential. So he's like, I'll gamble that. So he grabs a couple cultist friends, and they head off to a remote location in the Carnwood where these original experiments were performed, which he got access to, again, through records in Aether Academy, and started performing the rituals, hired some military police that got decommissioned at the end of the war that had specialty in wrangling undead. They formed a mercenary company after they were decommissioned, because what are they going to do, farm? Let's get serious. So they decided to use their wares and figured there's probably undead that are roaming out there. If we can get on a list, maybe we can resolve that. So they get approached, and it's like, hey, we need your help in corralling some undead. There's this facility that we saw. There's this undocumented facility that's like undocumented that needs to be resolved. So come along and keep an eye out for us while we try to resolve this place. So like, okay. So everybody shows up in this Carnwood location. Meanwhile, the war has ended, and a lot of people have been decommissioned and displaced as a result of war, including a bunch of Syrian refugees that are stranded as a result of the mourning happening. So Karnath's stance in general is, hey, we need food and we need new bodies. So we don't particularly care who you are, where you came from. If you're looking to settle down and farm, we're not going to ask anything specific. Just get to work and bring food to market. And before you know it, you're a valued citizen of Karnath. So thank you for being here. So a bunch of farmland. Anyone can come in and do it. Okay, cool. But where? So the tree line along the Carnwood has not been settled by farmers yet. Why? Because everyone knows the Carnwood's fucking haunted. So these people are like, well, it's free land, and if it's really that bad, we'll reassess. But it's been a couple years now, and there hasn't been any problems. And there's the village called Peace is maybe like a week's ride away from Fort Bastion along the southern line, tree line of the Karnath. So when Solzu rolls up to check this place out, realizes there's a bunch of undocumented farmers here now that he can completely exploit to power this this necrotic ritual, and can grab those people up and sacrifice them instead of the soldiers, because he was planning on just sacrificing the mercenaries. But, oh, great, I don't have to do that. I can actually keep them around now and have good relations with them. This is fantastic. So Some of the Emerald Claw Zealots start kidnapping villagers, taking them back to this underground chamber through a secret passage. And they start sacrificing them under the noses of the mercenaries. The mercenaries would not be down with this whole plan if they realized what was going on. It's technically a war crime to perform necrotic rituals, sacrificing human lives. So they would not want to be involved in anything like that if they had the choice. We're doing a body check here. Yeah, this is as far as I need to go. So we're going to go ahead and leave the body like this. We can start coloring in the background. Let's grab, oh yeah, we already have we have some generic color, but let's grab some guts over here. Let's go with, one second. I need to get these things in place here. Line goes here. Color goes there. Color goes there. Line. Cool. Okay, we're back on track. Let's grab this color here. I shouldn't have done that because I just fetched the color and I just lost it. That's okay. Cool. All right, we're on track. Yeah, so Emerald Claw thugs basically kidnapping people, taking them, get them murdered to help power the ritual. Boop-a-doo boop boop. That was loud. Let's take that down to nothing. Wait, something has told me to not ignore that. Hold on. Checking here real quick. No, okay, we're good. I have family, and sometimes they reach out at odd hours, and I don't want to ignore it if it happens, because if there's trouble, I want to be able to cut stream and go take care of business. But it looks like everything's okay. It's not like I have anyone sick or anything in my family. There's no like alarms or anything, but just sometimes something hits me at an odd angle, and it's like, you should make sure you're not ignoring something really important. Because as much as I love streaming every day, family's actually more important. So pour one out to those you've lost, you know? Yeah, this guy's looking good. It's gonna get a good one, I can tell. Let's grab that guts again. So the characters are deputized by Fort Bastion because it's one of these random fucking refugee towns, these little refugee villages that are farming. One of them is reporting that people are missing, and it's like it's not a big issue for people to go missing. It happens all the people just skip. You know, people skip town. They just leave. They don't necessarily do it announced. They have their reasons. As long as they're not causing any trouble, no one cares. But these guys are like, no, this community is insistent. No, there's something weird going on, and they want assistance. Have someone come and check out what's going on. They're claiming that there's military that are performing some sort of operation and people are missing. So what's up with that? Well, the Karnathi are ex-military, and they certainly look like it while they're soldiering. But they don't know anything about what's going on with the Emerald Claw sacrificing people. They just know that since they've gotten there, there's been expanded undead activity, and they're trying to, like, if anyone comes around asking what's going on, they're like, get out of here. It's not safe. There's weirdness happening. We're trying to contain it. Go away. And so that coupled with, hey, people are missing. I don't know what weirdness you're dealing with, but it's apparently dealing with us. And they're like, I got nothing about that. Just get the fuck out of here. If obviously there's undead, if you're losing people, take that as a hint and get out, not knowing that they're actually part of the problem. So Fort Bastion, hey, there's weirdness going on and we're not getting anywhere. We need help. So your characters are deputized to go check out the situation. They are deputized. They have badges. They have authority. They can ask anyone anything that they want. And as long as they report everything, they can deal with it however they think is actually necessary to deal with it. So the characters have a ton of latitude and legal authority in the circumstance to basically question the villagers when they get there. Thank you for being here. We'll give you everything we got. And then it moves into the mercenaries, and the mercenaries are like, yeah, there's weirdness going on, and we're actually feeling a little uncomfortable at this point, but if we try to bail on our contract, this is our first gig, and the last thing we want to do is piss off the fucking Emerald Claw, if that's what's going on here. So we need help. We also need plausible deniability. So like a legal authority coming in and saying that you are now ordered to stand down while we perform investigation and provide us with any evidence necessary. That's like great news to these mercenaries, because there could be some potential quid pro quo here in the future, which we'll get to. So they're like, yeah, we're going to stand down if the team is working with them. If they get violent, like if the team wants to come in and murder hobo everything, they can do that. They're just not going to make any allies in the process. So they're going to be fighting Undead, the Emerald Claw cult, as well as the mercenaries, siding with the cult. Like if the team comes in assuming that the mercenaries are cult aligned, you can just have them be cult aligned. That's fine. Everyone's a bastard. Kill everything. But if your team likes to explore political or solution, like diplomatic solutions, then great. They're more than happy to ally with you. Thank you for being here. We felt like something was weird, but we didn't know what to do. It's awesome that this is on the radar of actual authorities, and we are more than happy to help. They're downstairs. That's where the problem is. Go into the downstairs. There's a bunch of Ader Academy interns that got lured there, basically saying, hey, we're going to experiment with some exotic materials and some necrotic properties. Want to come along? And they're like, yeah, this is the best summer internship ever. Yeah, absolutely, I'll be an expert. So we get these guys down there that start, while this ritual is happening, a manifest zone is created, and it's incredibly powerful. So it starts terraforming the environment that the manifest zone is in the forest. It rots all of the forest. It turns into a necrotic swamp. The team has to sludge through it. Big tip off that, yeah, there's definitely something wrong happening here. So let's deal with it. Good indication. And then there's like undead that are crawling out of unmarked graves that are in this now exposed terrain. And they're not under anyone's control. They're just free-form undead, because undead that get formed in the powers of Mabar cannot be controlled while they're in Mabar. You have to lure them out to be able to break that, to be able to break control. So if you create undead, you're just basically creating monsters that are going to attack you like damn near immediately. It was fun during playtesting. Someone was excited about playing an undead cleric that was Emerald Claw, checking that was on the good guys team, checking this stuff out, but he didn't know about the effect. So he created a bunch of skellies with his money and brought them in as a fighting force. They immediately turned on the team. And that was great. I knew that was going to happen. The player didn't. It felt unkind, but I wanted to let the scenario stand because that's how the scenario stands. So yeah, sorry about that. But boy, that was fun. I'm going to, I think I'm going to merge these down because I don't think there's much more I actually need to do with this. So let's do that. Let's duplicate the group. Let's merge the group down. And we'll go Skelly. I feel like something's missing. Hold on. Nah, we're probably going to be fine. Yeah, we're doing fine. But we can. There we go. That's better positioning. Filling in that gap. Let's get this all out of the way. Back on focus. There. Let's see. There, guts through. Let's grab this head. It's too big. Free transform. So in the end, the team finds the necromancers performing the ritual. They defeat the ritual. They could choose to destroy the item bar. They could choose to keep it. It is an artifact, and it does create manifest zones. But if they stay on task, they can take the artifact to they can take the artifact back to Fort Bastion, that then hand it off to Ader Academy. So this could potentially happen again. And if the team is interested, they can remain deputies and basically get upgraded to sheriffs, given control of the fort, of the facilities where this was happening, to use as a bastion. And if the team wants, have the mercenaries become bastion mercenary soldiers as hirelings to help defend the bastion. And now you can police the area, protect all of these new farming communities, and have ties to Fort Bastion, and to the south and east is the Talenta Plains, which is basically an open warfare with the halfling dinosaur riders that have been basically raiding or coming into the region for decades now. Since Karnath has been fighting war, the Talenta halflings have had plenty of opportunity to basically occupy space in the in Karnathi heartland. And now now there's opportunities to get rid of them. So there's a lot of adventure options that exist inside of the game. This is an adventure for 7th or 8th level characters, and you can take it all the way to level 20 if you want, because there's 12 other artifacts that exist, and each one of them creates a manifest zone. And your team, if you wanted to make a quest out of it, like make a full campaign out of it, you finish at 8th or 9th level. You get 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. Sorry. You finish on 8th level, you get that. Yeah, so 9th level, 10th level, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. 20th level, you get all 20 artifacts. You get all 13 artifacts. And then as the capstone to your campaign, do something with them all. If you have all of the artifacts, you can reshape the planes, scuttle them if you want, shift them around, merge them together, change their orbits. One of the potential antagonists in the adventure, or as an alternate plot hook, your characters can actually be spiritual warriors that are aligned with the gatekeepers, the gatekeeper druids that are in charge of protecting Eberron from being destroyed by rogue manifest zones like this. And so if you don't want to play deputies, you have, like, if this is part of an ongoing campaign and you're playing with gatekeepers, then they can recruit you. It's like, yeah, we just had a blip of evil show up, and Mabar is not, it's being shunted out of its natural orbit. There's some sort of tomfoolery happening, and our diviners are sensing that it's coming out of Karnath. We can teleport you in via a tree stride spell, but we're not exactly sure where you're landing. So here's instead of getting deputized, you get basically a guiding stone that will lead you to the manifest zone. It's also a guild. It's also a gate seal, so it'll lead you to the nexus of the manifest zone where the ritual is taking place. And when you get there, you can basically lob it like a grenade to then expand out into a 2-ton 10x10 block that boom, drops onto the Nexus and punches out planar anchor magic to lock down and kill the manifest zone. So it can't happen anymore. And so if you you do that, it shuts down the ritual. You kill the, of course you're supposed to kill the necromancers. No one should be controlling magic like this, except for the gatekeepers. So the gatekeepers would actually prefer that you bring that artifact home for them to dispose of properly. Well, they're going to want to keep it. So if you get into that type of a campaign, they could actually send you out on a quest to collect all, got to catch them all, get all 13 artifacts, bring them back to the gatekeepers, and now the gatekeepers can control or deflect co-terminating events, like the Dalcor invasion, for example. That was a nightmare reality. If they had had control of artifacts like this, they could have prevented that from happening and steered the course of history to favor sentience as opposed to badness and demons. So really fun opportunities there. You can make a whole subplot out of it that like there's actually an evil sect of gatekeepers that are trying to exploit the planar magic to reshape the world in what this cult would prefer, and then get even and resolve grudges with others that have wronged them by dropping manifest zones on them, basically as tactical nukes. So really fun possibilities there, but that's just one of 6. Like there's the Deputized, which is the default hook, and then there's 5 other alternate hooks. The Gatekeepers is one of them. So I've gone into alternate plot hooks before, but it basically outlines all of these all the adventure locations, the characters that are involved, the natural actions that they're going to take, and then it starts presenting alternate plot hooks that you can use as either a different way to run the adventure or antagonists that you can introduce into the adventure to rival the characters, to basically fight against them. And yeah, fun, very, very fun. So you can add a lot of content to this. They can become further rivals after you complete this mission, like Ader Academy could recruit you. Like one of the alternate plot hooks is that you're just flat out recruited by Ader Academy because they realize that one of their artifacts has been stolen, and if word gets out that their archives are being raided, there's probably going to be a lot more oversight now that we're post-war. They don't want that level of oversight, so they want to discreetly handle it. Please fetch our toy and bring it back to us without any incident. And if they succeed at that task, they're like, cool. By the way, we know of all these other things that exist. The Emerald Claw can get a hate on you. They're not an optional plot hook, but they can certainly start hating you for interfering with this process, because they were going to make a lot of money. When this environment terraforms and the soil starts changing and the plants rot away, they get replaced by flora of like the things that exist in Mabar and that wouldn't normally be able to exist here in the real world. And this is a great money grab opportunity. The whole scheme here was, let's create the manifest zone and let's see what type of things grow here that we can exploit to sell off to other necromancers or other wizard types as exotic spell components. And the stuff is worth a fortune. It's legitimately wealth. Like you can make 1,000 gold pieces per 5 foot square with this necrotic substance that's growing, like literally Mabaran crystals. They can be ground down to perform rituals, necromancy rituals, and darkness rituals without having material components. So like you can raise, like all you have to do is sprinkle this stuff on the earth, on a field of corpses, and then perform an animate dead spell, and you can raise all of them. It's ridiculously powerful. So super opportunity there. And of course the Emerald Claw is interested in this. Like they could power their own necrotic armies through this shit. So like that's super worth our time. We're going to rise in power among the cultists and we're going to become fabulously wealthy in the process. We can choose who we work with. Great scheme, fantastic megalomania stuff if you want to keep the Emerald Claw on the bad side of your campaign. This is a great way to do that. Yeah, so Aether Academy's interested in this material, but it's too dangerous to mess around with. They can't afford to. It's just too dangerous. So they're happy to. They want you to send in, they give you basically a magical camera to take pictures of evidence of things that are happening, but they're going to be able to use that evidence as well to extrapolate information about how this worked to further their own research for, the science of it. And who knows how that can end up. But yeah, they can then send you off on additional quests. Hey, there's a whole bunch of artifacts out there. Collect them all for us so we can, put them in safekeeping and archives. The archives that can be infiltrated and stolen from, apparently, by Emerald Claw cultists. So who knows where that's going to lead to in the future. But yeah, that's a potential plot hook that you guys can play with. So a lot of really fun Indiana Jones style adventuring, which is like way up where inspiration for the whole campaign came from in the first place. So fun opportunities there. Hopefully people, once they get their hands on it, that the format's going to work, because the 16:9 ratio, it's a legitimate risk because it's not going to appeal to everyone in the audience. But I work solely digitally. I haven't my home team are coworkers, and we're all remote workers. Playtesting that I do is with people around the world, and so virtually all the DMing that I do now is online. I'm a player in a Curse of Strahd campaign every other week, and that is we're all remote there as well. I might be able to pull a team, like a real world team, together at some point, but I'm digital so often that the most valuable assets to me are online assets. So the 16:9 ratio works with what I need. And so if I need it, chances are other people need it too. So it's a gamble, but I think it's gonna pay off. And I'm feeling pretty good about this guy. I'm going to just melt away this line art a little bit, blend it into the color, and then we'll move on to the next guy. There we go. Blend that all in. I'm just using a custom smudge tool that I built. When I get to 3,000 hours on of annual viewership on this channel, and I'm currently at 2,940 today, so I am very, very close to hitting my marks. I believe at 3,500 subscribers and 3,000 hours, I believe unlocks Shopify as something that can run underneath the content here somewhere, and I can start posting stock art and potentially do a redirect to the DMsGuild directly, and then on my Patreon for the stock art, if you want to use my stock art in your own projects. If you're a $1 subscriber to the Patreon, then you will be able to use my stock art the stock art that you purchase, you can publish while you are a subscriber. So if you got a book coming up, you like some of my art, buy some of it, jump on board to the Discord, jump onto the Patreon, publish the book. And if you want to then end your membership, so because task complete, then bless you for buying my art, and thank you for being interested in including your books. I've done a shitload of commissions in the past for third-party role-playing games. And the reason I started creating role-playing games is because I couldn't get paid enough to do the art. So I figured, well, maybe I'll just make the books instead and put my art in my books. So you purchase the books and the art supports the books. So that's a fun idea that so far is working out pretty well for me. This ribcage is off, but it's also going to be concealed, so I'm not actually fretting it. That guy's good enough. Let's move on. Next. Get rid of that. Oops, I need to, I've got a space heater going. It's starting to overheat my... starting to overheat the place. I'm going to turn that off. I'll be right back. Right over here. Be right back. Whew, man, overheated. I went out into the forest and collected a bunch of broken birch. I grabbed some birch branches from the forest last night. And it's been a while since it's rained, so I should be able to have a nice fire going on later, probably this weekend. I'm not sure how much longer we're going to need fire to keep warm around here, but it's still pretty chilly at night. So I can enjoy a couple more fires before we're done for the season. So we're going to take this and I'm going to continue to drop the opacity on that. Let's create a new layer here. There. Get out of here. Yeah, we're getting far down the hierarchy of folders on this. We're probably like around 60 layers at this point on this, and we haven't even done the artifacts. Boy, to the vey, Mother Hubbard. Let's keep going. This stuff is this has taken longer than I anticipated. I'll be straight up with that. Cool. I thought I was down to 10 pages on layouts, but apparently I'm completely wrong, and it's actually at 18. That sucked. I hated that. I wanted to just own that mistake because I was anticipating like maybe a week or so we'd be done with layouts, but it's probably going to be more like 2. So that's still going to, it's only the 20th, so we're still probably going to be done with page layouts in the first week of March, which then allows us to start doing artwork at night. In the evenings, I'm working on the page layouts for this book because this 16:9 format's a new thing for me, and I've never built that way. I'm used to doing 8.5 by 11 pages in 2-column format for like character options and DM options, but this is the first time I've built something as an adventure that's meant to be used, like actually like consistently used during the game. So that's why I decided to go with the 16:9 format, because it's that one like that one column can fit over here on my screen. Like you can see this like this left side sidebar here, right? That's just about the space that I need for one column of that 16:9 format. So I can just scroll, I can just scroll and then go back to the VTT and always have the information that I need here on the side rails. So I'm excited about it, but I've never built that format before. So I don't have any intuition about like how do things need to sit on the page, how can I parse out the information, and all the blah-de-blah that goes with page layouts. It's new terrain for me. Excitingly, though, it's training me to build zine digest size, like 5 by 8 pages, like the little zines that you get, like the little role-playing game systems like this. It's very similar to this format, a single column format. So I've basically been training myself to work in that zine format. So when we're done with this and when we finish all of the D&D stuff that we do, and we start moving off into our own role-playing game, we are realistically going to be able to use the zine format because I'm training myself on how to do that. So I'm actually really excited. I didn't realize that initially, but after a little while, I'm like, wait a second, this is completely setting me up to succeed. I am excited about this. So I don't mind taking the time. I recognize the skills that I'm acquiring as a result of this project. Light as Araxis, the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration supplement that we created, it gave me similar difficulties I was converting the Adventure of Light of Zaraxis into the ship combat system that we publish on DMsGuild. It's linked down below. I'm really proud of that piece. It is definitely worth your time checking out. It basically provides mass combat options for fleets and squadrons of ships, and we'll follow that up with squads and armies of creatures for your characters to command. But for now, your characters can command an infinite size of ships under their command to fight an infinite number of enemy ships, and it resolves pretty much as though like a third-party team of like 4 or 5 characters fighting an ogre, for instance, or a pack of zombies, or a pack of goblins. It's the same level of simplicity as third-level adventuring, but it's your whole team controlling fleets of ships at massive scale. But the mechanics work, so I'm really proud of that piece. But in the process of creating that, I wanted to demonstrate, how can we test this stuff? So hey, let's do Light of Zaraxis, and then from there, it's like, hey, we tested this thing with Light of Zaraxis. It completely works. Here's all the changes that we made to the campaign to work with this system. Appendix C, an extra 20 pages that we added onto the Spelljammer book. So the process of me doing that taught me how to convert adventures. And now that I have the skill to make and convert adventures, now I'm using those skills of converting and making adventures into this, this is basically 5 by 9. It's 5.5 by 9, which could effectively be, say, 5 by 8, which I think is the size of the zines that you have. So I've been training myself for the past year and a half to make adventures in the zine format. So once we start creating content independently, we can create zines and do Kickstarters with them, or publish them on ttrpg if we want to do print. Or we already know that the zine format fits vertically on devices, so this is really setting us up for a lot of really cool long-term projects. So I'm very excited at recognizing the big picture that I'm a part of, and that this is all conspiring to my success. So I didn't know that's what I was being trained on. I just knew that this is something I was just compelled to do it. And now I see the wisdom of it. So ultimately, it doesn't matter if this book succeeds or not. God, I would love for it to succeed. I'm really enjoying this adventure, and I love Eberron, and I want to give back to Eberron by creating this. So it's going to be free. It's going to be a free preview, but of course, all the maps and all the tokens and all the blah-de-blah assets that go with it, you get those when you buy the thing. So God bless folks if they buy them. But ultimately, the benefit that I'm gaining from this process is I can now do these things. And I can do them in various formats. So I've just expanded my capabilities as an RPG producer. So, cheers. This guy's bigger than he needs to be. We'll shrink him down like him. Let's see how he sits in the mix. Here, yeah, here probably makes the most sense. Crap. These. Cutty pasty. Cutty. Pasty. There we go. Line art looks smart. Back row. Yeah, you're going to do fine right there. That's going to be fine. Okay, we're on point with him. Let's do a shit test real quick occasionally. Yeah, we should be able to get away with that. I think I want to leave this guy this size. So I stream, typically I stream 10 times per week. Monday through Friday in the morning like this, we do artwork. Mondays and Thursday nights, today's Thursday, Mondays and Thursday nights, we stream in the evening, typically like around 6 p.m. Seattle time for a few hours, doing game design for whatever is next after this, which is right now the Bastion campaign system, which takes the Bastion idea that's in the new DMG 2024 and uses it as a campaign generator to have risk rewards, ability checks, and skill challenges through the Bastion campaign to basically affect geopolitics. And then when things go wrong, that becomes an adventure for your character. That's typically what we design for on Mondays and Thursday nights. On Saturday morning, on my Discord, which is linked down below, we have a playtest campaign that we run for the Martial Powers system. Martial Powers is an alternate magic system that we've been creating so that martial characters has just as many options and resources as full casters have to be able to do combat and skill challenge, ability check stuff, so that the martial characters always have something interesting to do, just like full casters typically have something interesting to do. And we stream that typically on Mondays and Fridays during lunchtime, and we'll probably do that again this week as well. But today's going to be today we would normally stream that like at 6 o'clock, but every 2 months, I participate in a random game table that's streamed by Wally DM and How to RPG. So like AJ Pickett, Wisdom Check. And there's a number of other creators like myself that we just get together and play somebody's game. And we're going to be playing Super Atomic today, which I think is AJ. I'm not. I can't remember exactly who made the game. I think it's AJ that made it. I apologize. I don't remember offhand, but we'll know tonight. So if you check out my Discord channel or my social medias, I'll post a link to the game, and then that starts at 5 o'clock Seattle time or 7 o'clock Chicago time, and we'll play for 3 hours, running around in basically a superhero game. I think that concludes at 8 o'clock, so then I'll probably jump on and do something for a couple hours before crashing for the night, and then we'll get back up and we'll do some more of this. And then Friday, we'll be back online here, and then at lunch we'll do Martial Powers stuff, and then Saturday morning we'll do prep for Martial Powers here on stream for maybe like an hour or so, and then I'll go offline and we'll play the Martial Powers playtest, and then I'll stay offline for the rest of the weekend, and I'll do like page layouts for this and bash some out. Hopefully get another 3 or 4 pages out this weekend and get that countdown from 18 down to 14. So on Monday when we come back and we keep doing this, Monday night we'll play with the Bastion campaign supplement some more. and then I'll have maybe get another page done off screen. Tuesday morning, and then lunch, Martial Powers, and then I'm off screen for the rest of the night. I'll hopefully get another page done for the layouts here. So by the time we get back around to today, next week, we'll have Wednesday, Thursday, and then hopefully we'll have gotten another 6 pages, 7 pages done. If I can get 9, God, if I can get 9 pages done by this time next week, that'd be fantastic. It's possible. It's going faster and easier. The more pages I do, the easier it is to do more pages. It's just kind of how it works. It just takes time for me to figure out how, because when we built the thing, we didn't care about how much text it would take to describe each environment. We just needed to make sure we got everything properly described, and then we could trim away if we need to, and boy, do I need to. So we made the adventure, we play tested the adventure like with 20 some odd different people, and I ran it 4 times, and then we had 2 other DMs also run it, and it all checked out as good to go. So then we decided to go ahead and build the thing. There. There, grab that. Duplicate this. Merge. Cuts through. This one is now on the same hierarchy as this one. Bravo. Let's make this guy's head a little bit smaller because it needs to be. We always make heads too big. It's just how we do. That looks pretty good. I like that. This guy's looking good, man. Nice. What am I chasing this is? 720? Holy shit. Okay, let's just keep moving forward. We're honestly making pretty good time today. Yeah, I've been DMing for 38 years now. It'll be 38. I've been DMing for 38 years in May, and huzzah! I love running games. It's so much fun. It's so cool building a scenario and then watching how people want to destroy it, or like what decisions they make, how they want to handle threats and resolve conflicts and further their own goals. I love that aspect of D&D. It's role-playing games in general, but D&D is traditionally D&D has been better at it than anyone else. It was the original, even the I would say except for 4th edition. 4th edition does not feel like D&D. It's a very different beast. It's a good game. It just doesn't feel like D&D. So I've never really latched onto it, but I loved 4th edition for Gamma World. Gamma World, because Gamma World's such a gonzo setting. 4E was a very different vibe than the math rockedness of, like, Gamma World is very much D&D after the bomb in a postmodern setting, and it's a great setting. I love the setting, but it didn't feel right using these D&D style mechanics way back since the 80s. But I've played it a number of times over the decades, and I gotta say 4th edition feels better playing Gamma World than any edition of Gamma World I've played previously, and 4th edition just feels better in Gamma World to me than D&D does. So I think it's great that Wizards decided to make a 4th edition Gamma World like that, because it's a legit fun game. Hey, that's my 20-minute timer to let me know to take a drink and take a chill for a moment. Getting my head screwed on straight. Here's my cup of joe. I think when I get into these artifacts, I'm going to do line art. I'm going to do the line art, like clean up all the line art for all of these, and then drop the color in all of them. And so I can do like one day will be the scales, next day will be the, what the fuck is this thing called? The carillon, thank you. The carillon of the core, it's basically an organ, but it's bells instead of pipes. So it's a percussion instrument, not a wind instrument. Kind of cool. Bugle I don't remember the name of half of these things. Crown of Zoriat. Yeah, so these are all, yeah, we'll do the line art for each. It's like when we start this episode, like we're working on these scales to make them look really good. So each episode will be doing the line art for each of these. And then the follow-up episodes will be coloring each of them. So 1 episode, 2 episode, 3 episode, 4, like maybe 1 episode here, 2 episodes, 3 episodes, 4 episodes, 5 episodes, 6 episodes, and then another episode, so like maybe, and we'll probably do color, like 1 episode per coloring, so it'll probably be 18 episodes. It'll probably be like 18, maybe 20 hours of work to finish this page once the Undead are done. I'm caught up on something here, hold on. Something's going wrong with, there we go. And by the time we're working our way through this, we'll get the layouts done. And then once the layouts are done, we'll be able to drill through, we'll be able to do artwork off screen. So like I'll have, 2 or 3 hours at night, every night to get artwork done. So we're gonna start collapsing time frames here pretty quickly once those layouts are done. It's just those layouts are just, they take, like I said, I've never worked in the 16:9 format, and I've only designed one, I've only formatted one adventure prior to this, the Light of Zaraxis conversion guide. So I'm still pretty new to doing adventure stuff. I can do it now. I know I can do it now. It's just, it's not easy for me to do it. It's not easy like it is for me to do like character options or DM options. It's easy to lay out. Because that 8.5 by 11 format, 2 columns, it's super easy. It's the simplest formatting ever. And so that's not a problem at all. That used to be a challenge when I started. Of course it was. Everything's a challenge when you start. But I've been doing it for years, so that's a non-issue now. So I guess I'm just expanding my repertoire and getting good at these alternate formats, which is going to be where I want to be as an indie, like as a Kickstarter. Once I actually start getting into Kickstarting, those are going to be really useful skills. And all of this is really useful skills for Kickstarting, because when I do a Kickstarter in the future, so right now when I make a book, I build the book, I show you the entire process of building it, and then I put it on the DMsGuild because it's 5e content, and people either buy it or they don't, but they'll have this massive catalog of me talking, for 400 episodes making this adventure. So if you're really into it, you really want to check that stuff out, it's here for you to look at. But I do this basically as an accountability project, just to guarantee, because I'm not the only one that built this thing. It's Andy Headley, the old goat, and Stuart Braz, Zorbrats, were, Andy was a co-writer and Zorbrats was my editor. So I owe it to them to get this thing done, because they're going to get a cut of it. So they've been very patient with me, but they're also big Eberron enthusiasts. So I think I've got a decent reputation as a content creator among other content creators, but I mean, the one critique people can have of me is that my shit takes forever. Because not only do I write a bunch of, like I write most of the book, I create an idea, I write most of the work that goes with it. Sometimes I'll hire a consultant, like in the Spelljammer book, I hired Joseph Vargas, Ukulele Bard, and Adam Hancock was my editor for that project. So they got paid, for the Spelljammer book as well. So I'm sharing profit with them, and. But I'll bring people in when I feel I need to. I always bring in editors, because I want someone to shit test me, just to make sure I'm writing things well, and they can hand it back to me. It's like, this is written better now. Good job. And I think it's worth paying people for that. It's valuable. and then I do the page layouts, and then I do all the artwork. So I'm involved in a lot of it, most of it. And as a result of that, it takes a long time for one person to create, 100, 120 pages worth of content. And it's not unusual for my books to be anywhere from 50 to 120 pages. So it can take years for me to finish something, which isn't that bad for Kickstarters these days. But right now, I make the book, I make the entire book here online with you guys. And then once it's published, then I put it out there as like, somebody consider buying this if you're interested, please. But when I start doing Kickstarters, I can get people to purchase up front. And then this whole process of me creating stuff is fulfilling the Kickstarter. So you can clue in every day and check out, hey, how's the progress coming along on the book that I've bought, that I'm expecting to get eventually. And, then that encourages you to hang out with me on stream and voice your opinion and get involved in the playtesting. Because, like, if I don't have much of a list. So I don't think, if I did a Kickstarter, I don't think it'd be very well funded. Because I just don't think I have enough. I don't think I have enough community pull. I didn't do a good job building my business. I have a great hobby, but I don't have a great business. So me switching from a hobbyist indie creator like this that just does this in my part-time, because I do this in my part-time. I've got a day job that I'm going to go to at 8 o'clock. When I end stream here, I'm going to go to my day job, and I'm going to do that for 40 hours a week. And I do artwork in the morning like this, so I'm not pining away for my artwork at night. If I do it up front, if I wake up and knock out an hour or so of artwork in the morning, that's going to tide me over until I'm done with my actual day of work, and I can then come back and start working some more, so I can actually, honor my. I can honor the time that I spend, which is the pact that I have of working for somebody else. Well, hey, guy, it's good to see you again, man. I am doing really well. I've been rambling a lot. I got good rest last night. I actually woke up before my alarm today, which is fantastic news. So I was able to have a very casual start to my day. It's been very relaxing. So thank you. Yeah, good day for me. We're almost done with this guy, and we'll move on to the next one. Let's grab some of that bit down in there. This doesn't have to be great because most of it's gonna. I might actually be able to get away with it. Let's just hold on. We'll work on this just for another few ticks, but I think I can actually get away with calling this guy done because of how much overlap there is with other bodies. That feels pretty good though. Cool. Okay, so let's collapse this here. We'll add in the back lot there, and then more foreground, and then the front row here. So this guy I can drop in here, and he fits okay. And he's about the right size too. I'll shift him a little bit. Yeah, it feels pretty good. The army continues to grow. All right. Let's conceal what we have done. All that goes away. Those go away. Let's see. Let's get rid of this back rank there. We're going to ungroup these. We're going to ungroup these. Text, what's up? You're on a break from moving stuff into a U-Haul? Oh, great. Hey, Fox. Gally, where are you heading to? You don't. You can just say someplace better. I'm not attempting to pseudo dox you, but I'm always interested when people move. Like I grew up in Missouri and then moved to Arizona for a decade and then moved to Seattle for like 20 years. So like I've been slowly migrating across the United States to the West Coast. And I've gotten as far West Coast as I can get. So I think I'm stuck here. But luckily I like Seattle a lot. It feels just like Missouri, except that it's more evergreen while Missouri is more deciduous. It has a lot less humidity and a lot less radical weather than Missouri did. So it's like it's everything that Missouri was, but it's always green, and the weather is a lot more tamped down, and there's more overcast days than in Missouri. So it feels really nice here. The only thing I really miss is lightning. There's not a lot of lightning. You don't get a lot of lightning along the water, because most of that ionization effect, it gets dispersed over the water. So when it hits the shore, there's very rarely any lightning storms. But kicking across the Midwest, it builds up all the static. And there's huge lightning storms in the Midwest, and it's gorgeous. But alas, earwax, you know? I can delete this. You know what, honestly, I can potentially leave that. No, let's erase it. Boy. And then this. Let's move these things over. Let's find out. I'm going to peel this back open again. We've got so many of these things at this point. It's like, where do I need to fill in my gaps at? Where are all my bad gaps at? So let's see. Yeah, like dropping somebody here isn't a horrible idea. This isn't a horrible idea over here. I'm looking at this guy here specifically. There's a lot going on over here, so I don't feel like I need to add another one. Like this is probably a good spot to be, like right here. And then this guy, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that dude. Like if I put him here, I'm gonna have to make him a lot smaller because of this dude. You know what? Actually, I can make that dude bigger. Let's just drop him in here for now. That's a good spot. Fox, how you doing today? Dude, I'm looking forward. I hope you're able to attend on Saturday. I'm really looking forward to continue with the playtesting. I think we have enough momentum and people present at this point that that we should be able to have stable Saturdays. You know, even if a couple of people have to dip. I think we're going to have enough people in attendance at this point that we can always have 3 to 5 people playing, which is the sweet spot that I want for playtesting. I like when I'm running an ongoing campaign. I actually kind of like 3 people. My current team is anywhere from 3 to 6 playing per week. But I like how much participation when there's only 4 of us, me, like the DM, and 3 other players, is a really good balance, because the players are making decisions 75% of the time and the DM is providing information 25% of the time. That just feels like a really good balance. And you know, when the playtest campaign that we're running it's very combat intensive. It's a mega dungeon. It's going to be combat and exploration intense, and that was the intention of building that format in the first place, because most of the stuff that we're working with is combat and exploration focused. So it made sense to have a medium like that. But in an ongoing campaign, you have like downtime and like shopping episodes and like beach episodes for you know, decompressing and stuff like that, and downtime, you know, like debriefing between missions before new ones start up. It's a different vibe altogether. So having, you know, 3, maybe 4 people in an ongoing game, to me feels really balanced, because everyone has plenty of opportunity to voice their opinion and to be able to, you know, to be able to follow their own agency and share that time. Because when there's only 3 players, it's like you are like a good, even though you're 25% of the game, that's 25% is a good chunk of time where the camera is focused on you. So that goes pretty well. And of all the decisions that are being made, you are 1/3 of the vote. So when there's only 3 players, there's never a tie. You're always going to be able to go and move forward with less debate. So I like that balance, but it's hard to say no to players. So for the play test, 3 to 5 players at a time is pretty good. Anyway, I'm rambling a little bit. What's up? Oh, good. Glad to hear it. No shit. Oh, fucking fantastic. Glad to have him. And you guys have been playing 4E, right? I love that. I love that. I put a playtest together and immediately people find reasons to game together outside of the playtest. That is, to me, that is a huge victory for the community. I love that. And I know that Kyo's going to be, I'm pretty sure Kyo is out. So we had 4 last time, so we'll probably have 3 or 4 this time. So that's going to work out really well. I can't, I don't know how to control that. What I can do. Wait, I can. Thanks for the warning. There, I bet that's going to work better. This might be a better idea. I don't like delays. Maybe I can be a little bit more on point with folks if I do this. Here, just get that arranged there, and cool. Let's see if this does us any better. I don't know if it will or not, but let's see if it does. Test. There you go. I don't know. How was that? Any better? It might not actually make any difference. 8's Jesus tits. All right. Is that typical? That seems like a big delay. Let's see. Stream. I don't necessarily know what buttons I'm supposed to press to reduce the delay time. General, output. If there's a default setting in here somewhere, I want to fix it. But I honestly, I don't know how to fix it yet. But thanks for the heads up about that. If I can do anything to decrease that. Yeah, well, I'm honored to have you. But yeah, this is new stuff for me too. So I mean, I've only been doing it for God knows how many years. It's 4 years. I just hit my 4th year anniversary on YouTube. Jeez, I didn't know it was that long. If you had told me it was 4 years, I would. Oh shit! I just locked up. I pissed off OBS and now it's sparking at me. So let's kill that and then fire it back up again. Sometimes Photoshop doesn't play nicely with OBS. But yeah, it's something to research, so we'll figure that out. It's better. It's still too big, but it's better. And I've got about 10 minutes left. There we go. And I'm going to be playing Super Atomic on Wally DM and How to RPG's channel tonight. Every 2 months. There was a break because of the holidays, but roughly every 2 months I participate with a bunch of other streamers to play a one-shot in somebody's game. And I forget who created Super Atomic, but I've played it before on stream and it's pretty fun. So I will be posting the link to that game this afternoon, and then I'll be doing that from Seattle time from 5 till 8, maybe 5 till 7:30, and then I'll probably jump on and do some more bashing campaign work before my day is done. But it'll be a late start for me. That's every one Thursday, basically every 2 months. We'll eventually be once. I'm waiting to get this adventure done, and once it is, then I will be running Guild Delver on that stream. Everyone's down to playing it. It's the role playing game that I've been developing with my home table for the past year, and we will eventually make a Kickstarter out of that. The royal we. I'll be making a Kickstarter out of that eventually. But I want to get all of this other stuff off my plate, and I need to. I'm actually in the process of building a website for it. I don't have a mail list of all things. Like I've been doing this stuff for 20 years, 25 years, and I've never bothered making an email list because I never wanted to make a business out of it. I always protected it as a hobby, but I'm being compelled to move in the direction of doing Kickstarters and doing this more professionally. So whatever changes the Muse has for me in the future, she's sculpting me to move to a more business model of approach. And I think it's good that I've been hobby crafting this for so long, because I think if I gain any degree of success, I could become obnoxious. So I think it's good that I've been forced to crawl on my belly for so long and not have any momentum or popularity, so that I could get a grip on being who I am and realistic about expectations, and to feel failure long enough that failure feels regular. So if I have any degrees of success, I can just treat it like a failure and continue on like nothing's changed. So I can be the same jackass self that I am now, but have more people. More things, produce more stuff, and maybe eventually quit my day job and do this stuff full time. I would love that. But I'm not pushing for it because I love my day job. If it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be. Anyway, I'm starting to talk business. I'm going to shut up now. Anyway, I'm going to be doing, I'll be doing Super Atomic role-playing game today. I'll post a link on my Discord server and on the social medias for folks to tune in and check out me running around with a bunch of other weird superheroes and doing whatever the hell it is that we do. I don't know what the adventure is about today. It's just going to be a thing. So we just romp around for a couple hours, like 3 hours. And then I'll go back to my regular scheduled stuff. Yeah, right on. It'll be fun. It's always fun. I mean, it's just role-playing games are just, when you get a bunch of DMs and game designers together to play a game, it's just improv yakety schmackety. It's basically trying to trying to outdo each other either in ridiculousness or hilarity or pro move tactics. I don't know. There, bring that in a tick. That feels pretty good. And let's bring this head in a little bit more. Something feels weird. There we go. Where's down? Right. Dim sum big eye. It feels like the session's almost over. There we go. Decent progress today, no complaints. I think for the efficient powers, the best route is to go with feat. Just stick with the feat, but then have a rule that when you are selecting feats, if a feat is repeatable, you can't have it more than you can't prepare it more than your proficiency bonus. I think that's a good simple rule at first to fourth level. You only have it twice. Like for the toughness feat, start stacking hit points. It might not be the most efficient thing to do, but it's an exploit that I don't want to exist inside of the game. So I think that's probably the simplest way to resolve it. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun ranting with each other. Yeah, that time delay is a little thick. There's got to be a way for me to reduce that time delay. It's got to be less than that. 8 seconds is a little ridiculous. It should be 0. There should be an option for 0 delay, and I don't know why I don't have that. So I'm gonna figure that out. It's actually kind of pissing me off. There's that, and let's grab some of this down in here. I could swear it might be an OBS issue. OBS wants me to update. I hate updating OBS because sometimes it scuttles everything or it doesn't work right with Photoshop. I hate updates. Like, why do you need to update stuff? It's just like, it already worked. Stop trying to guess what makes your shit better. You know what makes your shit better? Not messing with it. That makes your shit better. I see text. Thinking last session was fantastic. Glad to hear it. This was in the You talking about my game, or are you talking about 4E? Fantastic is a great word, by the way. Well done. Ah, glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Tanking is something that. Oh, that's right, because you have that goading strike going on that living statue. Yeah, that was great. I gotta say, goading constructs when they're stupid. The constructs got shit intelligence, man. Like a -5. Like a -5 to their intelligence. Goading constructs is fucking great. Because they have a hard time with that saving throw. Once you goad them, they kind of stick on you. And tanking is something that's really missing in just D&D mechanics in general. So, yeah, that was great. That as a DM, I had no complaint about that at all. It still hit hard, but you could survive it well enough to be able to effectively tank with it, while the rest of the team was like legit fretting over it, which is pretty much exactly where you want to be with an encounter. So that was just that. Yeah, that was great. I was thrilled with that. I'm looking forward to you guys getting into second and third rank powers to start messing around with zone controls and more tanking options, controlling positioning of creatures more easily with more powers available to you. Oh God, it's good. I'm really, really happy with it. Yeah, that goat is wicked. That really worked out well. Very happy. I gotta bounce out of here in a few minutes, but I just want to pick at this just a little bit longer. I might not need to do anything more on this guy. He could be done. I'm not 100% yet, but... Clean up that art attack. So yeah, we're going to go back to feats. Efficient power is a feat, but you can only take it twice, or a number of times equal to your proficiency modifier. So currently it's twice. One of the, I think the original Battlemaster had like 4 powers that were 0, like three or 4 powers that were 0 cost. It was too much. It was too. Oh yeah, because you get your bonus powers for your 3rd level character. And the Ravnica backgrounds give you free powers as well. So your character technically has at 4th level you have 9 powers, and so you could spend 4 of them on making them efficient. And that's too much at that low of a level. At higher level, when you've got like 20 powers, that's going to be fine. Because you're going to be slinging so much mana around at that point. It's like scratching off a point here and there is not a problem. So that's probably how I'm going to spend Saturday pregame. Is rebuilding them so that they're reintegrating the feats back into the generic pickup characters, and we'll probably, I think we're going to make more characters at 5th level. I am super close to out of time. Yeah. Well, but then you'll also be able to sacrifice attacks to generate mana to empower what attack. Like if you hit with your first attack, you can dump your second attack to juice it up with more damage or an effect, plus the movement, plus the bonus action. You can generate up to 3 mana per turn, and still be able to hit something. So like we'll have a lot more. We'll be able to sling more mana, like be able to sling more powers around in general. It's gonna be a lot more versatile. I loved the playtesting for the when I got to play in somebody else's game and playtest the the Battle Master at 5th level. It felt great because I could put in my hit and then I could dump the rest of my mana into empowering the rest of my team to take actions. So it felt really like once I got into a position and could just like platform there and playing arrows at stuff, I could then I can just dump action economy into other characters. And that made me really feel like a tactical commander through the entire adventure. And we didn't have a thief, so I picked up Trap Springer and empowered abilities. So I was makeshifting as the Trap Springer. I was playing the rogue, even though we didn't have one. The Battle Master had enough bandwidth to be able to cover it. So that felt really good. So it's a big variant away from where 5e is at right now, but virtually everything that we've introduced into that game has feelings of it in what 5e is now, and that's really exciting to me to feel like, to be on that edge, to feel where the game is trending towards, and to be able to lean into that trend. It feels nice that I've got that level of awareness inside the game that I like to play. I'm very proud of that. Anyway, hey, I'm out of time, so it's time for me to kick out of here. Oh God, yeah, I'm late. Okay, I gotta go. I'm going to be back. We'll have a Super Atomic at 5 o'clock Seattle time. That's going to be 9 hours from now. I'm going to have a link to that on my Discord later on today, and I'll be posting to the socials as well, so folks can keep an eye out for that. If you thought this stuff was fun, I do it every week, a lot. So anyone's welcome to join the channel, join the Discord, ask questions, check out my books that are linked down below, blah, blah, blah. So I got to bounce out here. I will see you guys on the other side. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Same fill time, same fill channel. Good words. I like that.